Oye, mi gente, you know who this is. We want to welcome our viewers today in the United States and around the world to our 6th installment of We Are Not Invisible, Talk Therapy in Black America. What I want to say in this particular episode is that as people of color, black people, Latino, Native people, we really need to open our hearts to talking about the issues and things that bother us. Too many times it has been perpetuated in our communities that you're weak, that you're not a man, that you're not strong if you reach out for help, if you talk to somebody. And specifically, that has been directed against us if we reach out for professional help. But I just gotta say, I was of that mindset, to a certain extent for a long time. I just began actually my therapy over this past summer, and I have to really say it's been an amazing experience to be able to sit down and talk to somebody, that doesn't know you, that's neutral, you know what I'm saying? Well, I won't say neutral because they want you to win. So somebody that's supportive, that's open to listen to you. Do you know how many people don't have someone to listen to them objectively, to not judge them for what they're saying, to not, berate them for what they're saying? That is such an amazing feeling. And too many times we hold and bottle this stuff up inside, and it breaks my heart to see it because I know people even in my own family, in upper ages, that can't talk about anything. And if you ask them to discuss stuff, they get really upset and shut down and will stop talking to you. And to me, that just indicates that there's tragedy and there's pain and there's hurt there that they probably never talked about. And sadly enough, they may never talk about it. That is such a sickening feeling to hold things inside of you. And you have to be able to talk about things and discuss things, in your own time, in your own space, but in a situation, an environment that you feel comfortable in. And it's just really epic that we begin to find these outlets, and I'm not talking about, speaking to somebody that may go back and, tell your business or, put you down for what you have to say. A lot of us, we've experienced so much in our lives, and it's just good to have somebody to speak to you. And what I'm finding about the therapy is that not only do they listen, but they help you to solve some of the situations yourself. There are different types of therapy and stuff like that, but as you sit and talk and they reflect back to you what you said, you would be surprised some of the discoveries that you make as you listen to yourself. Because a lot of us, we have thoughts and we think about things, but we never really listen to what we're thinking, and never really, what I like about the therapy that I'm finding out so far, and it's, like I said, this is kind of new for me or whatever, I'm finding that the therapist is able to put things or mirror things to you, and you're able to really look deeper into yourself, and it helps you to kind of solve and resolve, things with a little bit of assistance, Now there may be more in-depth processes or types of therapy that I'll find out, but I mean, so far so good. And tonight is the night before I go back tomorrow, and like I've shared in my videos, I've been through a lot of trauma, and it got into the point that it was just really, breaking me down inside, so I went to seek professional help in terms of therapy, and now we're going to be dealing with some stuff tomorrow. We're going to actually start talking about my childhood sexual abuse that I suffered as a teenager. And when the therapist gave me the notepad last session and said, I want you to write down everything you can remember about it, and we're going to begin to deal with it, I was like, oh my God. But you know what? It's time. It's time. And I'm just glad to be able to have an outlet to discuss these things. And, you know, there's so many layers of things that I need to talk about. And let me say, your session, for the most part, is confidential. There are only a few, occasions where they have the right to divulge, and that's called a duty to warn. Like if you reveal in your session that you're planning to hurt yourself or harm someone else, something like that. But other than that, unless you give them permission, they can't talk about what you discuss with them. And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of us don't want to talk about things because we don't feel comfortable with other people, knowing how we really feel about a lot of things. And that's understandable, so you should have an outlet to talk to somebody that you can know that that's between you and them. And what's really great about it, the therapist, as you get to talking to them, you guys begin to develop a rapport and everything, and you feel comfortable, you learn to feel comfortable, and they feel comfortable with you, and you build up that relationship. It's a really great experience. And it's not a perfect experience, you may not get it all the time that you want it. Now, I wanted to talk to another black male, so I could, I guess, get somebody to relate to where I was coming from or whatever. Do I have a male? No, I have a female, black female. But you know what? I'm fine with that because she's empathetic and she gets where I'm coming from. So I mention that because I don't want, for those of you that will go for therapy, to get there and the person doesn't look like you think they should look like, or they're not the sex you think they should. The main important thing is that you be open and that you be able to connect, and you feel that connection, between the two of you, because that's key in order for you guys to be able to get in there and do the work that's needed. So, like I say, I'm going to let you go right now. I got to start, I'm procrastinating a lot of anxiety, so I didn't do my homework, so I'm going to sit down tonight and put down my thoughts so that I'll be ready for the session tomorrow. But I'll be checking in with you, I may just make a whole nother series about, my experiences with therapy. And I think it's important that I speak on this because a lot of people of color, again, like I say, are not open to this process, and we really need to. It can help us to avoid, getting really sick and more depressed and upset and everything. There is nothing wrong with therapy. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful and amazing gift that we need to be wise and take advantage of, like so many other cultures have done, and it really speaks to your commitment to want to change and self-growth, and like for a person, like myself, living with a mental disability, psychiatric disability, I cannot tolerate the psychiatric medications. If I've, shared before, I've taken just about all of them, and I can't tolerate them. So this is a terrific outlet for me to be able to learn tools on how to better, manage my situations or whatever. So it's a great opportunity for us to grow and be better. So I just want to leave you with that thought right there, and I'm going to let you go right now, but think about it. And if you feel you need someone to talk to, get on the net, and reach out and find their groups. That everybody doesn't do good with one-on-one therapy. There are groups you can get together with other people that are going through your challenges and talk about it. And of course, if you're in a psychiatric emergency, meaning you're feeling like hurting yourself or someone else, definitely reach out to your nearest mental health professional, go to the emergency room, get help immediately, all right? So live and love, mi gente. Te quiero. To talking about the issues and things that bother us. too many times it has been perpetuated in our communities that you're weak, that you're what I want to say in this particular episode is that as people of color, black people, Latino, native people, we really need to open our hearts. Oye, mi gente, you know who this is. We want to welcome our viewers today in the United States and around the world to our 6th installment of We Are Not Invisible, Talk Therapy in Black America.